how are you doing? I'm going to talk today a little bit about why. Oh, what happened there? I'm going to talk a little bit today about why I do what I do. I'm going to do a workout with you in a minute, but I just want to precede that by sharing that this information that's needed to be shared right now is something that myself and many of us have been trying to talk about for the last decades, and now seems like a time where the obvious to some of us needs speaking through us so that more people who are on the cusp of changing their lifestyle are able to literally resonate and experience the transmissions that are coming through, because they are very, very fast at the moment. There's an awful lot of information coming through that's been sitting there for many of us to start experiencing, practicing, falling off, coming back, doing the emotional work, doing the inner work, doing all of this stuff. But there are some things now that are just so ready to come through. The information is all out there, it's nothing new. But are you ready to hear this? Are you ready to know that actually, if you want to change the world, if you want to see change in the world, you need to start from within. And so you have to be the change you want to see in the world. And that has to include what you're putting into your body with what you're eating, what you're thinking, what you are putting on your skin. And if you have begun, and I know most people who will follow me have already begun, but I know that many of you are on the cusp of actually stepping into a greater, more connected version of your true self. In other words, you are going through this awakening process, and how you treat your body, and we have many bodies. One of the bodies we have is a physical body that takes us through this experience of being in a human body. We are a soul, essentially, but we're here having a human experience. So if you want to have the best possible available human experience to you, it's very possible that you have had many, many experiences in your life that have shaped who you are. And those experiences that you have all come to you for a purpose, for a reason, for you to either see them as a means to connecting more deeply to your true self. In other words, we live in a world of polarity. We live in a 3D time space reality. This is the old paradigm that we are slowly but surely leaving. Some of us are in this fifth dimensional reality some of the time. We may have moments of experiencing oneness. And this ultimately is what self-realization is, what the awakening process is, what moving into this higher state of consciousness, this fifth dimension, where humanity is headed. And you could say that once we are in 5D, there is no such thing as time anyway. So maybe we are already here now. And maybe, and especially as you get older, you will realize that you have a memory of a time that may be 40 years ago, and yet you can experience that right now in this moment and think, how can that be 20, 30, 40 years ago when it feels like yesterday? And that's because the truth, the ultimate truth, is that all of these timelines are happening simultaneously. And that's just how it is. If you want to work it out and go into your head and start to kind of work it out, that's what human beings do. we need to understand. But in truth, what we have, many of us who have gone along the path of yoga, however we've done that, whatever that has looked like, if we have gone down that holistic path, I find that word strange, but somebody said to me the other day, are you holistic? And I thought, well, if that's, you know, if that's the word that resonates, but it's being connected to something greater than who we really are. So I'm just gonna come back to what I'm really with right now, and that is, how are we taking care of this incredible body, this vessel that we carry with us from the moment that we're born to the moment that we die and move on to our next stage of the journey without a body. But in this physical existence, in this realm, we have a body, and this body deteriorates as we get older. Now, I don't buy into the idea of getting decrepit, let's put it that way. And we know that everything changes as we mature in years. However, what we have been told, as I put in a post yesterday, I think, or the day before on Facebook, was that we have basically been told, programmed to see aging in a certain way, and it really, a lot of it isn't true. And one of the things that's really being pushed in this current collective that we are finding ourselves in at this time is the push for medication. I have to be very careful because this will be on YouTube, and I have to be very careful with what I say because my videos have been removed a number of times. But what we're given to put in our bodies and on our skin and in our hair and in our cooking and in everything is stuff that is not good for us. I don't know how much more simple I can say that, but we are fed toxins, poisons everywhere. And it's like most people, and I know that most people who listen to me are not most people, if you know what I mean. Most people, and you may well be one of these people, because we've all been there. We've all had struggle. We've all had some form of depression, of feeling low, of feeling disconnected, of going through trauma, of just being here on this earth plane. I loved that post I posted recently on Facebook, and it said the 3 stages of life. 1, you're born. 2, what was it? What the fuck is this? Or what the hell's going on? Or something like that. And then 3, you die. And it's like, that is part of the human experience. However, we have been fed mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically a lot of crap. So if you are going through the awakening process right now, as this paradigm is becoming more and more and more separate from good and evil, if you are in the camp that is saying, yes, I'm here to awaken, I'm here to step into a greater version of me, an expanded version of who I really am, my connection to source energy, my connection to God, or whatever word that you choose, because you cannot, you will not, you are not able to fully awaken to your next stage of your own transformation, of your own awakening, as you become connected to source energy in a way that is aligned on every level, so that what you think, what you say, what you do, the actions that you take, and everything is so aligned, and that your message, that your voice is impeccably true to what you believe, know, feel, access is beyond, bigger, greater than the little you. So we're talking about connecting to your higher self. We're talking about connecting to the it's not even an ability. It's like, it just is. It just is. This awakening process is powerful beyond measure. And when you can come into this place, which can happen just like that, which right now I am accessing, and you will be receiving the transmission from my accessing that source energy, because I am another you cleverly disguised as me. That is the meaning of Namaste. If I find that place that I'm speaking of deep inside of me, and you find that same place deep inside of you, then we are one. That is the meaning in Lakesh. Namaste. That is the meaning. I keep going off track. So coming back to your physical body. If you are on the awakening journey, it is time for you to start paying more attention to you, to your body, to what you're putting in your body. Are you eating organic? Are you eating pesticides? You know, what poisons are you putting in your body? Many of you are looking to come off medication. When you come off medication, you start to, or you've probably already researched things that you can take, and then you start to go down all the rabbit holes. Many, 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 many rabbit holes. I'm currently looking for a new supplier for my CBD oil brand, and it's just incredible how much information is out there everywhere. And yet when you start to look at something, you will see where costs are cut, where information, for example, on Facebook this morning, I think I just put something like seed oils cause inflammation in the body. There's a lot to learn on Facebook, actually. There's an awful lot of interesting, if you follow interesting people and you watch different groups and different things, and I don't spend a lot of time on Facebook reading, going scrolling. I don't scroll, but you know, particular groups or particular people will come up, and there's a lot of information. And the information that we get now when we are becoming more aligned, and the information that we receive, is so much bigger than Google. So much bigger than Google. Oh my God. In fact, the podcast I did a few weeks back with Amber Marie on the I can't even say it because the video was actually banned off YouTube. Okay, I'm talking about the injection that children have when they have measles, or to stop them having measles. Sorry, I'm talking about that. That interview was banned from YouTube. It's on. I'll put the link below. Actually, it's on Spotify, and it's on BitChute and Rumble. But that was a very, very interesting conversation about the jab and what that caused. But when you start to become alive, sorry, I was going to say Amber Marie gave a website. I think it's a Russian website, and it's what you can use instead of Google. And you put something in, and you will just get a whole other side of information, of story. And you know, I mentioned this the other day in a podcast that, you know, when you put something in Google, for example, you try and put a hashtag. Let's say like I think I was on Instagram, or I was on one of the platforms, and I'm not on there very often, but I just wrote hashtag waterfast, and it was like, that wasn't a possible hashtag. This is the programming I'm talking about. This is like how much we are influenced to, you know, to buy into something. As you go into this awakening process or awakening journey, truth is going to come through you. Truth is going to start to come through you, where you become your own Google. And when I was doing my teacher training in yoga about 30 years ago, my teacher, Ruth White, who was one of the original UK British yoga teacher trainers who trained Iyengar, one of the things that she used to say all the time was about this constant, being in the present, living in the present, and speaking from that place and connecting to source. But she used to always say, and it really used to wind me up. She used to really wind me up. Ruth White was one of my biggest teachers, actually. But she always used to say, the answer is within you. The answer is within you. And my yoga journey, my own personal yoga journey, and as I'm connecting to this truth, I can really feel the emotions arising, because the journey that I personally have been on has been just the most incredible journey. The most incredible journey imaginable. How do you know if it's the truth? How do you really know if it is the truth? How do you know? It's got to be the results you're getting, hasn't it? How else do you know? If you have a garden full of beautiful flowers, that are alive, vibrant, growing, feeding, nourished food, nourished organic food. We've seen all the science around how your thoughts affect you, how your emotions affect you, how injuries and accidents are not accidents, they are on purpose. So how can you grow? How can you grow if you are not feeding yourself and growing constantly into a brighter, more connected version of the one that you ultimately came here to be, which is connecting to that namaste, connecting to that source energy. And that is where we are aligning into, coming into, expanding into. It's like I said to a 10-year-old yesterday, imagine that boy that wants to play football, that boy that wants to have friends, that boy that looks a certain way or has passions a certain way, or realizes that what he loves doing is what he's meant to be doing because he loves it, and that's how your body was designed, that's how you were designed to know what your passions are, and yet to have come from a world where you were dumbed down and squashed for your creativity. You had to behave, you had to do this at school, you had to learn this, you had to read these books, you had to wear that school uniform, and you had to just be. And I personally got sent home from school many times, not because I was naughty or bad, but because I had the wrong shoes on, or the wrong skirt on, the wrong length skirt, or whatever. I was always picked on for thinking that rule was just fucking mental. Like, how can you tell another human being how to express who they really are? Like, how can you do that in normal education? How? I don't understand how that can be. It doesn't fit into my paradigm, So we're all learning how to be sovereign beings. We're all learning how to step into that greater version, and sometimes, very often, how we grow is needing to have a life experience, needing to go through challenges in life, like just challenges, like shit, but challenges, and how we choose, after the same lesson repeating, how we choose to take a different path. So whatever you have been through, wherever you're at in your stage, in your physical body, because that's what I was coming to at the beginning of this video about half an hour ago, was that when you're ready to choose to honour this vessel on every body level, on every level, your mind body, your soul body, your emotional body, your spiritual body, your physical body, when you're really ready to align more closely, more deeply, more connectedly to your true self, then you will start to want to take care of your body. You just will. You just will. So I am going to offer you now a workout. I can't see if anyone's there. Hi John, look, good to see you. There's not many people on. However, this is a subject that's very, very close to my heart, and for me this is a beautiful record of where I feel like ready to share right now. And so I want to talk about weight training. And yeah, I really want to talk about weight training. But maybe because I've talked for so long, I think I'm going to do it now. Shall I or shall I not? That's the question. No, I'll leave it for another video, I think. I think I've given a really heartfelt share there about where I'm at and what I'm ready to bring through as an act of rebellion, so we can dump this third dimension and we can come together. And those of us that are doing this work, those of us who are teaching, those of us who are upgrading, those of us who can feel the upgrades because of the absolute contrast of where we've been, and how that very trauma experience, negative force, whatever you want to call it, how that propels you if you are aware of it and you know that you have the choice always. But when you recognize that, that is the breeding ground to propel you to new heights, new higher states of consciousness, new levels of awareness, greater feelings of bliss, of joy, of knowing that you're on your path, of knowing that you're taking care of your body. All of these things that I am experiencing, that could not be more in contrast to where I was 6 months ago. This has been a harsh year for humanity. This has been a harsh year for humanity if you have even begun to awaken. Because I know that there are many humans in such denial around the awakening, such denial. And I'm sure that you all know one of those people, have probably family members who are those people. And some of you have very awakened families. But again, the challenges all come on purpose. So beautifully on purpose. Stunning. Everything is so on purpose. This is how humans grow. Humanity is ready to grow. We are growing. We have to grow. We have no option to grow. So don't worry about those people who are so protected and so going to stay in 3D, because that is their journey through life. Don't worry. Don't be concerned of how other people be, how other people are, no matter how close they are to you and no matter how much you love them. This is your journey. This is your journey. And you will never, ever, ever feel truly aligned until you claim your journey, your experiences, your choices, your power, your sovereignty. This is your time to take a tiny baby step towards connecting yourself to that bigger, greater version. And as I said to the 10-year-old the other day, all of those different things, all of those different people, all of those different experiences that you want to have in this lifetime, visualize stepping into the skin, the flesh, the experiences, the magical happenings of that greater version of you. Namaste. And remember what that means. It's powerful.